Hello and welcome to another wonderful day for CRS. Sorry, there is power outage here, but in a jiffy, they're gonna put on the gen. So I'm gonna just continue. Since we are having the slide is on and the slide, the power outage does not affect the slide. So my face is the only thing you cannot see. But since you're seeing the slide, let's continue. I hope you guys are aware of our new platform, educateafricans.com. That is where you go to get all our lectures according to syllables. They are all there. Everything I'm teaching you here is already there. Educateafricans.com. Thank you. Welcome to another wonderful day. Today we're going to be looking at leadership. Very, very important. Leadership in Christian religious knowledge. Very, very important. A leader is a person who manages or directs others. In Nigeria, our leader here is President Buhari, and he's supposed to be able to manage and direct others very well so that the country will move swiftly. So when you have a good leader as being a leader, it affects every other person that is managing or directing. You understand? There will be life in the country, and there will be life in everything people are doing. So leadership is very, very important. If you have a good leader as your governor, everything is going to be good. If I have a good leader as the husband in the house, things are going to work well. If you have a good leader as a manager, the company is going to be succeeding. So leadership is a very, very important quality that you're supposed to have elements of good leadership in you in order for you to lead well. Okay, thank you. So leadership therefore entails guidance and direction to people for the achievement of their ambitions. A good leader must possess some qualities and potentials. In this very chapter, we'll be focusing our attention on 4 great leaders in Israel. And those 4 great leaders are Joseph, Moses, Joshua, and Deborah. So these 4 leaders, we're going to learn from them how to be a good leader. So let's start with the first leader, Joseph. Yeah, we want to learn how to become. Let's see what these leaders did in the Bible times, and we'll try to emulate these leaders in order to be good leaders in our own time. So the account for Joseph as a leader can be taken from Genesis 37, 1 to 28, and Genesis 41, 1 to 57, Genesis 45, 1 to 15. Okay. So Joseph was one of the 12 sons of Jacob. Jacob had a special love for him because he was the son of his old age. This made his brothers hate him. You can see, just because he's wrong. And this one there. So Jacob loves Joseph so much because he got Joseph when he was getting old. He was the son of his old age. So he loves him so much. And this made his brothers to hate him. Joseph could see something that will happen. Child is blessed by God. He gave him the vision to see the gift of vision, and now the dad loves him so much. Now, he narrated his dreams to his father and his brothers. His father cautioned him, his brothers hated him the more. So he had this vision and he narrated them to his father. His father has to caution him, telling your brothers, these men, they don't get joy, they don't love you. They have to be careful with them. They don't have joy in their mind at all. Okay. In one of his dreams, he went with his brothers to cut sheep, to cut leaves, stalks of wheat, for their father's flock. According to him, his brothers' sheaves gathered round his own and started to bow to it. Secondly, he saw the sun, the moon, and stars bowing to him in another dream. Invariably, these dreams imply that he would rule over all, including their father Jacob. Okay, so imagine the sun and the moon bowing to you. That means you're ruling over everybody. So the father could understand this, and as a father, he could allow it. But those his brothers, they're going to be envious and jealous, and the envy and jealousy is not good for him. That's why his father cautioned him Telling your brothers this, could be bad. Okay. He was sent by his father to look after the welfare of his brothers because he was a faithful and obedient child. You see, very important. You have to be a very obedient child. It brings love from the parents, you know. So as he approached them, they saw him from afar and plotted to kill him. So when the father told him to go take care of his brothers, the brothers saw him from afar and they plotted to kill him. You see, brothers plotting to kill their own brother. Their own brother is wrong. However, his eldest brother Reuben saved the situation by suggesting to cast him into a pit. Wasn't very comfortable with killing their younger brother. So he said this so he might. But while Reuben was away, they brought Joseph out and sold him to Ishmaelite traders going towards Egypt for 20 shekels of silver, as could be seen in Genesis 37:28. His brothers conspired and sold him into slavery in order to prevent the fulfilling of God's plan in his life. You see? And you cannot prevent, like, that's what people don't know. Like, no matter effective, God has supreme power over every living being. So no matter what you do, you cannot do so much. And don't try it so that you don't fall into troubles. Okay. He was humble and loving. Joseph was humble, and you see, so for you to be a leader, you have to be humble and loving. Despite the fact that the brothers hated him, a good leader, if you're in charge of a place, you're working, you're the manager, you understand? Some of the workers are going to not like everything you say, but as a leader, you have to find a way, a middle ground to accommodate both the people that love you and the people that don't love you. And you have to be humble. You have to be humble. Humility is very important. Some people can't differentiate between humility and doing things right. You have to be humble. Yeah, there is light now. So you have to be humble. As a leader, you have to be humble. Because when you are humble, that's when you pass information, people will listen to you. But some people don't like listening to people that are arrogant, you understand? So humility, and you have to be loving, both to those that love you and the ones that don't love you. That's elements of a good leader. So this was portrayed when his brothers, who cannot recognize him again, came to buy corn in Egypt. You see, those same brothers that sold him out to the Egyptians, they came to buy corn in Egypt, and he was already in charge of corns, in charge of the wealth of the nation. He had already become the prime minister in Egypt. But even as at that, he was still humble and loving to his brothers. You see, people that wanted to kill you, people that sold you out. As a good leader, you don't always punish people like when they do something that is wrong. You understand? You don't always punish them so hard that it becomes unfair. So yeah, still have to show some elements of kindness. So when they came to buy corn in Egypt, through a number of questioning, he made them to confess their past deeds. He forgave them, sent for his father, and ensured that his father lived his final days in peace. You see, another characteristic of a good leader: forgave them. He forgave them. You understand? So if somebody does something wrong, comes to ask for forgiveness, you have to forgive as a Christian and as a good leader. And he now brought his father, made sure that his father led the rest of his life peacefully in Egypt. Okay. Getting to Egypt, Joseph was resold to Potiphar, an Egyptian army officer, as a slave in Egypt. God equipped him with the gift of endurance and of faith. If you have to be a good leader, you must have the spirit of endurance, and you must have faith in God. And you must also receive the blessings of God to be a leader, a gift from God. Just like him, he had gifts, gift to see the future, you understand, gift to have endurance and faith. So Potiphar in turn made him the head of his household servant. Imagine, they sold him into slavery so that he can go and die. But you can see the way God is lifting him up. God is continuing to lift him up. God is making him see good things. That's one of the characteristics of being a good leader. A very handsome boy, Potiphar's wife, attempted to lure Joseph into adultery, which Joseph resisted. Being a good leader, you have to be able to resist temptations. Temptations are going to come your way as a good leader. But you have to know that one of the qualities of a good leader is to stay strong and resist temptation, as Joseph did. The woman, having failed, accused him of rape, for which he was imprisoned by Potiphar. He endured all the suffering. You see, a good leader, you have to endure. Even when he refused the exigencies of this woman and I accused him. She then accused him of rape. Imagine. And he was jailed for some years and he endured. Good leaders, they endure a lot. Example is Madiba, Nelson Mandela, through the periods of apartheid in the South Africa, he kept faith to having a nation that is free of marginalization and slavery for South Africans, and it finally paid. Endurance, if you have to be a good leader. Okay, let's move forward. However, by faith, Joseph found favor with fellow prisoners and warders. Even in prison, he continued to interpret dreams of fellow prisoners, and he became their trusted friend. The chief butler, whom he interpreted a dream for, proved ungrateful to him and for 2 years did nothing to help him. In the course of time, Pharaoh had two frightening dreams. One was a dream where 17 hungry-looking cows came out of the Nile and swallowed seven already standing well-fed cows. The other was a dream where 7 ears of blighted corn swallowed another 7 ears of plump corn. The king was troubled greatly, for none could interpret the dream, not even his wise men and magicians. So none of them could interpret this dream, but this dream was just pam pam from Joseph, bang bang bang. He has interpreted it. The man that has the blessings of God, Joseph. Okay, it was at this time that the butler, whose dream Joseph had interpreted in prison, recommended Joseph to the king. Joseph was therefore summoned. With the grace of God, he interpreted the dreams perfectly, as implying 7 years of bountiful harvest, followed by 7 years of unbelievable drought. He even suggested to the king that the only remedy to beat the famine was by storing as much food as possible. After interpreting the dream, he suggested for the king how to avert bad things from happening to the nation. You see, that's how you have a leader has vision. A leader has solution to the problem. A leader is somebody that can think for the people and help out in certain issues. That's the problem we're having in Nigeria. We need good leaders that have vision. You see, Joseph can even see, he does not just have vision, he can see the future. A leader is somebody that is pragmatic, somebody that has something in mind, how to fix the youth, give youth job, build hospitals for elderly people to be taken care of, for sick people. Look at COVID-19 and all the rest. So a leader should be able to know that a pandemics like COVID-19 could crop up at any time and make provisions to take care of such situations. So those are some things that you've seen that Joseph could do in the olden days. And those are the qualities of good leader. Now, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as his second in command. You can see, because of that, this man is a visionary man. This man is a capable man. You know, when you wash your hand very well, you dine with the king. And that is why Pharaoh now appointed him second in command. What it means is prime minister, somebody that has the next power to you. Imagine a slave in Egypt becoming the prime minister, okay? He was given unlimited power. Oh, unlimited power, so that he could use his brain to govern. He was given management ability as well as governor. That is, he was in charge of the grain storing, distribution, and sale. So he was now in charge of the grains, all the corn, everything, where they store it. because they don't want to enter into famine. So they had to entrust him with everything because he has already shown that he can. Imagine. Immediately he came, he became Potiphar's head of servants. So anywhere you give him, he can manage. So a good leader should be a good manager. You have what's it called, a leader. You think that the person, there will be stunted growth of the nation or of the state. It has to be somebody that is entrepreneurial, somebody that is wise enough to know how to move the nation forward, or move the state forward, or move the local government forward. So when picking leaders, when you're voting, you have to be careful with the kind of person. Is that person a visionary person? Does he have where he's going? So that you followers can follow him to that promised land. And we're going to be seeing all these when we go to Moses. We also see how Moses demonstrated good leadership. Okay. The famine was so severe that it extended to other countries, including Canaan, where the rest of Joseph's family's members lived. Whereupon his family came to buy food in Egypt many years after they sold Joseph. This was the incident that brought the whole family together in Egypt, which also marked the beginning of Israel's slavery in Egypt. Joseph forgave his brothers as they reconciled and reunited. So you can see that during that famine, even his brothers had told him that we are in Canaan. They had to come to Egypt to look for food because Joseph, as the leader, as the prime minister, has made provision to take care of the famine by creating big stores, big silos where he was storing grain. So everybody from people from other countries have to come to Egypt. You see, a country that plans. When people are in trouble, they come to you. Look at China. They say that COVID-19 came from China, but China was able to take care of their problem, and they are supplying equipment, PPE, to even United States of America, to even Great Britain, to even Germany. So China was distributing all this because they have people that know what they are doing. China, you might not like their way of leadership there. You might not like their autocratic, but they have their people in mind. They are taking care of their people. The country is growing, the economy is booming. Because there they don't tolerate rubbish in China. If you go there and do nonsense, you will have problems. They have leaders that are committed to making sure there is poverty alleviator. Before, Chinese people they used to be very hungry, their economy bad, but immediately they started having good leadership. China is now they are rubbing shoulders with the United States of America in terms of everything, sciences, machine learning, and the rest, because of good leadership. Okay, this is where we're going to be stopping. Okay, before we stop, let's look at Joseph's leadership quality. Number one, he feared God and acknowledged him as the fountain of knowledge and divine favor. Could be seen in Genesis 45:6-9. He recognized every event that participated his present glorious position in Egypt as the act of God. So he saw a good leader. Now you see every good thing that happened around you as the act of God. You don't take all the glory. They are out of God. As head of Potiphar's household servant, he was a faithful servant. You cannot not be a faithful servant. You're working for somebody, you're not faithful. You expect to be elevated. Leadership entails being a good followership. When you're following, you have to do well, because that's how you get the blessing of being a leader. As a leader, he feared God greatly and refused to dishonor his masters by committing adultery with his wife. Oh, so as a good leader, you have to be able to. There are certain things that you shouldn't do. He's a leader who loves people around him. While in prison, he loved his fellow prisoners. Thus, the butler, after his release, recommended Joseph to the king. See, you have to love people around you, basically. Even when he was in prison, he is someone who hates vengeance. He forgave his brothers and even wept bitterly. We should therefore emulate him. So you have to desist from vengeance. Vengeance is for the Lord. Leave it. You have to forgive. He was humble as revealed in his attribution of the success of everything he did to the leadership of God. See, despite all these achievements, he said, "These are not my works. These are not mine. These are the Lord's." You understand? As good Christian, you should always learn to be humble. And every good thing that happens in your life, don't take it that it is by your power of or your might, but by the grace of the Most High, is Lord, the Lord that enables all those good things to happen in your life. Now, Joseph as a leader had administrative ability in organizing, as reflected in the way he stored up food during the period of plenty and handled the famine crisis later on. You have to be a good leader, visionary leader, technological leader, wise leader, prosperity-oriented leader, discipline-minded leader that can bring development to his people. That was the type of leader that Joseph was. He had administrative power. He could manage. Hey, do this one, do this one. He can organize and make things work. Okay, and that is the end of this class. We are going to be looking at Moses as a leader and we'll continue. See you when I see you. Thank you. God bless you.